Hey everyone, welcome to a new YouTube video. My name is Alexandra. Welcome back. I am full of energy, which is good because I feel like every time I come into camera, I'm either tired or don't have the energy and I'm not like really talking and I sound real moopy, and I guess you guys don't really get to know me a little bit more in these videos. So I wanted to come here. I was scrolling through the YouTube channels on the search bar, and I saw people were doing makeup tutorials on what they will wear if they have a mask. Obviously, I've been out my house maybe a few times, but I haven't done any like makeup looks. I haven't done any of that. So I wanted to come here and say the case if I did wear any makeup look with my mask. I wanted to show you guys what look would I actually do. So here comes my case. So just in case if I had to wear a full face of makeup going out, I wanted to share with you guys what would I wear, right? So I wash my face, and after I'm done doing this video, I'm gonna jump into some TikTok videos. I've been a little bit getting involved. I'm using an eye cream. The brand has been erased. I got this in Ulta, and I'm running very low, so I need to pick up some eye cream to protect these dark circles, because I believe in aging like super crazy. Okay, all right, so oh my god, my face looks a little rounder today. I don't know if it's the angle of the camera, but my face looks a little rounder. All right, so I have oily skin, and I am using a water-based moisturizer, and this is from L'Oreal. I picked this up from Amazon. I will link it below. Anything I link from Amazon, I do earn a small commission, so to give you guys a heads up. So since I have oily skin, I go with this. I add a little couple of drops there, and then I rubbed it into my skin. So obviously you see I have a scar here and another one around here. And I have a breakout happening on that side. So I've been using like a cream to help clear that up. So it has definitely cleared up some of it. And also before this pandemic happened, I went to see my facial lady, and we did something to clear it up, and it definitely did clear it up. So I'm just using something at the meanwhile to kind of clear those little dark areas. So I have that really moisturized, and I tried this earlier because I actually was filming a little earlier today for some TikTok videos. So I'm gonna do those steps on how I did that, because usually the steps that I do for when I go to work, because I was working for almost 8 hours a day, and I don't have time to refresh my makeup. So usually I have very oily skin. So these are the steps that would work for me when I was going to work. So I'm gonna just try to retrace those steps as much as possible to what I would do when I was going to work. So after I let that go ahead, okay, it broke a little bit, the palette, but not as bad. So I go ahead and I use my Urban Decay All Nighter. I think I'm gonna have to grab some pins and kind of pin my hair because it's like hitting me right here, and I don't like that. So I kind of spray that all over my face, and I kind of let that soak into my skin. I'm gonna go get my bonnet because this is like irritating me, and I don't want it to create any of that crease line that my hair could do. So much better. I got my bonnet on. I was gonna put my scarf, but my bonnet works. So yeah, so I let that soak into my skin, and then I start working on my eyebrows. Everything is like, I'm still in my room now, so I don't have any more of my favorite drugstore eyebrow pencil, but I still have more of this. So this is what I'm going to use for right now. This is the Benefits brow pencil. So I do like this one, but this is obviously a little bit more expensive. I'm almost done, as you could tell, like it's on the edge of it. So obviously, you know, eventually we're gonna have to go back to work soon, and you know, mask will be required. So I wanted to show a look that I guess if I was going back to work, what would I be wearing on my work? So obviously I'm gonna fill in these gaps as much as I can without making it look super thick. So that is there. So I want to do a little bit of talking, but not as much. And also, anybody who had questions on my last video, because I did get some messages on Instagram about my hair color. All right, so what I use is a toner. It's almost like a toner, if I'm correct. All right, so I'm not a hairstylist, so I spoke to my hairstylist first before I started doing the green. So obviously the color that I have attached to my green just freshened my green ends aware. It did not do anything for my black hair because I would have to maybe bleach that. So if you are thinking about trying any of those products, you need to I guess go through your, like, I guess look at your hair color and see where your color would, which color would pick up more. Because I know a friend of mine's who did purple on her hair, but not with the same brand, a different brand, and the purple only showed up on her grays. So I really think it's depending on the color of your hair. Just be careful, and if you do have somebody that knows about hair, I guess discuss that with them first before you do anything. I spoke to my hairstylist before I did anything, and I did mention that in my video. I don't just do crazy stuff without discussing with her first, because she's, you know, the person I speak to when it comes to doing anything to my hair, and that's like from shampoos and hair products. So I'm using Benefit's clear gel eyebrows just to put them in place. I usually would go ahead and grab some concealer. I probably would do that right now to cover certain areas of my brows that have like hair that I want to cover it. So maybe by the artist. Okay, so while that's, you know, setting in, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna use for a primer and all that stuff. So I don't have most of my brushes because I went ahead and got them clean. Actually, before I use any concealer, let me go with my primer. So I'm gonna go ahead with the Magic Luminous by L'Oreal, grabbing un poquito, a little bit, and rub it into my fingers, and just I'm gonna focus this on like right here in these areas, just because I want that to have that little glow up top, because this pimple is like so brolic. Just gonna focus on those areas, and whatever I have on my fingers, I'll kind of like dab it on my forehead, and that's it. All right, so that's there. So today I'm using for concealer in medium beige Koki. I love this brand. I like their eyebrows, and I did do a review on their eyeshadows. I found them on Rite Aid, so that's how I knew about them. So I'm gonna apply these in my, like, my pimples that are with the darker shade. They're a little darker right here, and this is not a full coverage, but it's gonna help with the blemishes not to kind of show on my face. All right, so it's just gonna kind of like not neutralize it, but it's not gonna like, I'm not gonna use a lighter concealer to make it brighter, because if I do, it's gonna just, you're gonna be focusing on those areas on my face, and I don't want that. But I just want to, like, you'll see the magic when I start putting my stuff for my sponge. So I'm gonna grab my sort of damp sponge, just to, you know, So my little acne spots. So alright, so that is done. As you see, it's obviously it looks a little darker in those areas because I don't have my full face on. Alright, so if I was going to work, I would go with more of a lighter coverage of a foundation. So I'm going with a CoverGirl's Clean Fresh. I've been using this a while. I really like this. I know this, like, I don't go on based on reviews on a lot of people. So for me, I really like this foundation. It's very light coverage. It has a beautiful dewy finish. So obviously I went with a dewy primer, but that's okay because I'm gonna mattify it a little bit with a powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that on my face. I'm not trying to put this in the back of my head today. So I'm gonna put that. I like it because it kind of like even out my color without being too much. Oh my god, I didn't realize I have more brushes that I needed to clean, but I have a foundation brush right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I first start like with this side, and I'm gonna go ahead and brush and tap to kind of like get that into my skin. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this because I don't want to either move the concealer that I just applied on my face. I'm gonna keep that in that spot right there. So I'm just gonna tap away. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and do that. Go ahead and pat that into my skin. Obviously I'm gonna clean my eyebrows out, but I'm gonna do that after I do my foundation. And go ahead around my lips, and just I love the finish that I get with this from CoverGirl's Clean Fresh. I want to try their concealer, but when quarantine ends, I'm thinking I'm probably, if they have the color vanilla, then it will work for like from under my eyes, but not like for covering any like of my pimples. I always like to go with the same shade of my color to cover that. So I'm patting that in to my skin. So alright, and then I'm gonna apply that into my forehead. So oh Jesus, is dripping. So apply that into my alright, I'm gonna go ahead and alright. So I'm gonna pat it with my brush, just like I did with my face. And in case you was wondering, I'm in the color 540 and light. So I'm doing this. Obviously it has a dewy finish, so if you have a oily skin like me, I would be very careful with this because it's very oil, like dewy for us. When you have a dewy, like oily skin, like this, really, like it's no bueno for our face. Like our oils are like our worst enemies when it comes to like dewy foundations. All right, so I'm gonna grab my sponge, the same sponge that I use for my concealer, and I'm just gonna dab that into my skin to pick up any excess of the foundation that I could possibly have. So and I'm just patting it a little rougher so it could go into my skin, and pat that in there. All right, so I'm gonna pat that in, and I'm gonna kind of let that go ahead and get into my skin to proceed. So I'm gonna go with, I don't have any more of this one. This is a drugstore one, and I love this drugstore one, but the thing is I'm keeping it for right now because I just would forget which color I was in the concealer. So I'm holding that out. So I'm using the Fenty N170 for concealer under my eyes. I'm gonna use a sponge to blend this out today. I usually like to use my fingers, but I'm not. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my sponge and just pat it in. I apologize if you guys hear my son. He's talking and everything. He's talking to his older sister. So just doing this. This would, and it's funny because this is what I really will wear when I go to work. It's because sometimes I don't wear like very heavy stuff. So this is what I'm gonna wear. This is what I would naturally wear to work if I was going to work. And whatever I have on my sponge, I kind of pat that into my eye. So like, kind of don't have that. All right, so with the concealer, I'm going back to Koki, and this is the medium beige. With my brush, I'm gonna go ahead and carve a little bit my brows with this in medium beige and SC 764 in that color. And I'm just using a brush from Elf Cosmetics. I really don't use expensive brushes. I either go with, you know, Elf or whatever I see on Amazon, and I kind of pick and choose. It's weird to say, like, I'll order a few brushes, and the ones that are like crappy and the ones that really I like the blending brush that I use a lot, then I put it in my stash, and the rest that are like, I didn't like how the texture was, and if they were too stiff or too rough, I would either like go and use them as backups, like if I ran out of clean brushes. So that's what I'll do. And I'm gonna just go ahead and carve the little top part here, because my eyebrows are, they're not clean, and they almost losing its shape sort of. So I don't want any like bright like concealer highlighting it, because I'm highlighting it, and you're gonna notice that it's a little like noticeable. So with the sponge, I'm just tapping that, or you could use your fingers, but I'm just gonna use the sponge and kind of very gentle into it, or you could use your foundation brush sometimes, which I use, but I'm just gonna use my sponge. My son is crying. I'll be right back. Stars setting powder, and this is in the color translucent, and it's just the white color, and I'm tapping this on the brush just to remove any excess from the brush itself. So I start patting this on my face, and this is what I do when I go to work. This is my routine for work, and I start from my eyes and then I bring it down, just patting away. So I'm gonna pat that, and then I pick up, and then I kind of focus a little bit more in the areas that I could possibly get really oily at, and this is like right here in my T-zone, and I'll pat that a little bit more to kind of like hold any oils that could possibly come out of my skin. So I've been using the Jeffree Star for now a month, and so far I kind of definitely like how it leaves my face. It really does a good job with, especially for my oily skin. It works great for me. I'm saying for me because I don't know if it will work for somebody else if you're trying it out. But if you have tried the Jeffree Star setting powder, and if, depending what color, and if it does work for your oily skin, please let me know in the comments, because it would be nice to know that I'm not the only one who's experiencing the wonders of how great that product is working on my skin, especially like I can't find. All right, so right here I have the MAC Cosmetics with Aladdin. So not funny story, but crazy story. This looks similar to the shade of the Patrick Star came out with his collection for the summer collection. So I actually was using that blush all the time. That was my go-to blush, and this was similar color, so I didn't touch it. So my daughter dropped it and broke it, so I had to go back into it, and I realized this was a similar shade. But it sucks because when you find these collections, either they sold out, or you could go ahead and find them like in Poshmark or these like eBays and stuff. So find these blush these colors, and I didn't want to go that route. So I'm just patting it in the area, and I'm working myself up to my, just to elevate my face. Is just an easier way. I always, anybody's makeup that I do, I always tell them, don't, because you know when they say smile and put it on the apples of your cheeks. So here's your apples. So when you smile down, where is your apples at? Right here. So when you smile and you put your blush here, what happens? It droops down. So it drags your face. So you don't want to drag your face. You want to lift your face. So you want to put your blush a little bit high where your apples will sound. You see? Drop. But this is where you want to apply it. So I'm using a face powder blush to kind of like dust the extra from this. I'm always either very light-handed on this side. All right, so yeah, this has become my go-to blush. I do have other blushes, but this is my go-to brush. And I've been tempted, like really, like in my mind, I want to order the Patrick Star one, because I actually love that blush because it's similar color in it, but I don't want to. So right now, the Aladdin is like the backup of that color that got messed up. So I'm gonna use a highlighter. Actually, should we jump into highlighter? No. Actually, yes, let's jump into highlighter because I like to set my face after that. So let me get my highlighter and so one of my go-to, because it's very light and I use a lot of highlighter no matter what. So I'm using LA, and this is the contour palette, and I'm using this to highlight my face. It's very light, and sometimes for work, because I don't want to be so like glowy, like because I already look, because as you know, I have green hair, so I stand out really like fast at my job. So I'm just gonna highlight there. So go ahead and highlight to the top. I love highlighter, so obviously you will put as much as you want. So I always add way too much, but I just love how my face just looks when the sun hits it. And obviously you want to go with the reflection of the sun. So if you see, my reflection is hitting here. So, right there. So after that, I set it with setting spray. I could either go with my Bear With Me, I alternate, or I go with the Morphe one, or it's really depending on what I'm feeling that day. So I'm gonna just go with Bear With Me. I'm gonna go ahead and do an eyeliner. So from here, I have either two options. I could either go with an eyeliner or no eyeliner and just add mascara and then a lipstick, and then I could go and walk out the door. But today I want to actually do an eyeliner. So today I'm using the Black Radiance, as always, my go-to eyeliner. And I'm gonna go a little thick. Alright, so I usually just carve from the middle, but I have a tutorial of how I do my eyeliner, and this is just over years of practice. So I flick it a little bit, and then I drag it. Yo, is it me? Alright, I don't know if it's just me, but when you do your eyeliner, do you kind of like don't move your mouth? Like when people talk to you, do you let them talk to you when you do your eyeliner? Or you just kind of like, when they just say, hey, so what time you think you're ready? And then you just like, don't move your mouth and you do this like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Oh, you're running in 5 minutes? Give me 5 minutes. Yeah. Am I like the only one who does that? because when people talk to me, that's how I talk. Mascara and my eyeliner. Okay, so for lipstick, I'm going with Rimmels Stay Matte. I love this. If you see it at the drugstore, pick it up. These stay matte and they don't move. When I tell you they do not move, they do not move at all. So I think they go for $8 and I have them in all shades. But this one is Be My Baby. I love this. This does not, after it dries, it is all fair game when it comes to this color. One thing, you gotta let it dry up. Like any liquid lipstick, you gotta let it dry, and then when it dries, it's just phenomenal. One thing I could say is it does have a weird little chemically smell. Like, you know how certain lipsticks have these funny smells to them. So if certain smells bother you, then I won't recommend it to you. But if it doesn't bother you, I would say go ahead. But the scent is one thing that I recognize right away when I apply this lipstick. So this one is Be My Baby again, and I really love it. It stays matte after it dries. Right now it's not dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and brush my hair and I'm gonna come back by then. So there it is. There goes my lip color. A quicker way to like kind of like mattify it if you want to, and this is only if you like to do that, and it's just go ahead and apply some powder, setting powder, and it'll help it if you're like super duper rush. So here it is, my mask. And my mask, my friend made them, and her name is Lisette, and she's my hairstylist though. So let's see. Oh, my ears. Look how pretty it looks. A face mask. This is the look I will wear, and this was my regular routine when it came to work. When I was going to work, this was what I was wearing. This was what I was wearing to go to work. So I want to say thank you so much, guys. I hope it wasn't a lot of talking. I was just talking to show you guys a regular routine that I would do if I was going to work. And I worked at a office. I was the office manager for a dentist office, a private dentist office. So this what I was wearing all the time is either an eyeliner or just mascara, with the same routine when it came to my face, just because it was quick. I knew exactly what I was getting. I knew that I want nothing too heavy on my face, especially when you're moving around, you're doing so much. You don't want nothing just like sitting on your pores, especially at my office where it was a desk. And I just, look, when you go to an office at a dentist's office, you don't expect to see somebody with green hair. So I always had to keep my face very simple, as you see, nothing to go on because my hair was just a statement at work. So yeah, this was my work routine makeup look. So I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Also, please follow me on Instagram. Hey, I am Alexandra. Also, if you want to follow me on TikTok, do so too. I will add my TikTok around here. And anything else, whatever I have, any social media, I will go ahead and link it here. And I want to say thank you so much for watching. You guys are gosh, thank you so much. And thank you for those who are subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all the likes and all the stuff that I'm getting. I appreciate it, and thank you again. And please let me know if you use any of these products, and if you didn't work for you, let me know why in the comments below, because I would love to see what works for you and what works for me. This works for me. This is the CoverGirl. I love how it leaves my face, and it's, you know, vegan free, and it's made with coconut milk and aloe extract. So I love how it leaves my face. It looks phenomenal. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. All right, guys, see you in my next video. Bye.